The Oscars were yesterday, and Matt and I are still trying to figure out what was more entertaining, that or the early NFL free agency period. Matt and I are going to give out some awards of our own and decide who's had the best free agency period so far. Who do you think?
Right now, I think it's the LA Chargers. I think that they realized some of the issues they had, and they've been trying to address them and also keep up with their fellow division, rivals who are all going for the Super Bowl and going all in. First of all, bringing back Mike Williams was huge. Obviously, it's not bringing in any new talent, but you solidify that wide receiver group. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. It's great for Justin Herbert. And then the other two that really stand out to me are J.C. Jackson and, of course, the trade for Khalil Mack. Jackson is an amazing corner, and he helps that defense, which at this point, if there was going to be a big problem for the Chargers moving forward, it was going to be their defense, which definitely took a step back last year. Bringing in Jackson and then Mack as a guy that can go with Bosa and go after the quarterback is going to be huge in a division where each quarterback can completely change a game with their playing ability. And Jackson also, every team now has a star wide receiver. You have to be able to cover Devontae Adams, Sutton, Judy, and Juju Smith-Schuster for the Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Chargers are definitely an early winner. They obviously had to address the defensive side of the ball, and they did that. J.C. Jackson makes that secondary really, really damn near elite with already Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr. already in tow. And then Khalil Mack, obviously everybody looks at him as an elite pass rusher, but he helps you in the run game too. He is awesome against the run, and that was the Chargers' biggest problem defensively last year.
And they also brought in Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day to help with that D-line as well, because the run game, their run defense was the worst part of that defense.
100%. So the Chargers are definitely a winner, but I don't think anybody has had a better offseason so far, free agency-wise, the Miami Dolphins. And first and foremost, they had to address the offensive line, which was ranked the worst in the NFL by Pro Football Focus last year. Dead last. They surrendered a league-high 235 pressures, had the worst pass blocking efficiency in the NFL, and they addressed that. They brought in Teron Armstead, who is not only probably the best free agent in this class, but one of the best tackles, one of the best players in the NFL. They also brought in Connor Williams from the Cowboys, a guard who struggled a bit last season, but he is a veteran and an improvement to that atrocious offensive line what it's been in Miami the last couple of years. And then, but the most important thing really is what they did to add to that play-making group, particularly at the wide receiver spot, bringing in Cedric Wilson from the Dallas Cowboys, who was slept on as a playmaker. And then obviously in the backfield, getting in Chase Edmonds, who was one of my favorite players, an explosive guy. And then obviously adding Raheem Mostert, who took off in the NFC Championship game not too long ago, 200-plus yards in the game before the Super Bowl against the Packers. Adding Alec Ingold, a fullback presence who Mike McDaniel, new head coach, is going to be able to get the most out of. And that just, to me, makes this Miami Dolphins offense just completely different, completely more explosive. It has evolved in one offseason. And now with the head coach who knows how to utilize these weapons, the sky's the limit. I think the Dolphins are really live to compete in the AFC East, compete in a very loaded AFC conference. And this is the biggest thing to me. I want people to keep the same energy about Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. He's played 2 seasons. He's never had a running game. He's never had a competent offensive line. He's never even really had a competent coaching staff, offensive-minded coaching staff. Just look at some of the offensive coordinators that the Miami Dolphins have had over the last 2 seasons. Now he has a coach in Mike McDaniel, who I think is going to be great. He has an offensive line that should be improved. He has playmakers that should improve his play. And yet people on Twitter are still making jokes. Legit Barstool Sports verified accounts are clowning this man like he can't throw. And again, to take a page out of the LeBron playbook that I hope ends up better than LeBron's proclamation, keep the same energy, because when Tua plays better, because he certainly will, just keep the same energy. Don't make the excuse that, well, he has weapons now. Any quarterback would be good with these weapons, because that's not what people are saying right now. Just please keep the same energy, and all those things that I mentioned. Without an offensive line, without a run game, subpar coaching, through 23 career games, Tua Tagovailoa has completed 66% of his passes. He has 33 total touchdowns and just 15 interceptions, and he has a 13-8 record through 21 career starts. I would say that's pretty solid for somebody who has been operating under less than ideal circumstances. So that was my rant about the Miami Dolphins.
It's a good rant. No, I mean, again, I still think the Bills are the team to beat in that division,
They
but
are,
Miami
100%.
is absolutely there. I was worried about them last season when they came off of a pretty impressive run with Tua in his rookie year. Tua doesn't deserve all of this, criticism that he's getting. I thought he played great last year. I thought he utilized the weapon he had that was Jalen Waddle, and Gesicki was also great. Bringing him back is huge.
Yes.
And honestly, this sneaky big signing for this Miami Dolphins team, in my opinion, is Alec Ingold.
Yep.
Mike McDaniel.
He's one of the best fullbacks in the league.
He's one of
on
the
a
best.
very short list. Of one of the
There's
best
only a
fullbacks in the
few,
league. Right.
but he's great. And Mike McDaniel comes from a Shanahan coaching tree that knows how to utilize the fullback in really impressive ways, and Ingold is going to be able to do that. So when you have a two-headed running back monster of Mostert and Chase Edmonds, and then you throw in a fullback like Alec Ingold, this offense is set up to just explode. I can't wait to see it. Now it'll just be about the defense and if they can, kind of live up to what they had been over the last few years.
100%. Let's talk on the other side. What GM do you might want to slap in the face like Will Smith or something? Who do you think has done a less than ideal job?
I'm going to say the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals have really had a lot of potential, and this seemed like a situation where this was a Cardinals team that a lot of people started to get very high on in the middle of the season, and they have done absolutely nothing to build off of that momentum and to actually make a run at this division and an NFC that we continuously say, Scott, is extremely weak. They've honestly lost talent. They've lost Chandler Jones. They haven't really done anything to improve the weapons on the offensive side. Basically, all that's happened is their big free agency signings were Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury getting extensions. And those were the biggest signings as of right now. So this Cardinals team, I don't know what their game plan is because you're going to have to sign Kyler soon to a big contract. Why wouldn't you take advantage of his rookie deal and try and get some more guys and really make a run at this while the NFC only has about 2 or 3 other teams that actually are contenders?
Yeah, we are in agreement on this. Steve Keim, GM of the Arizona Cardinals, what are we doing other than cashing that big new check that you just got?
6-year new check.
You let Chandler Jones walk. You let Jordan Hicks walk, who are both huge pieces of that very solid defense last year. You also let Chase Edmonds, who I just talked about, is in Miami now. Let him go and let James Conner, who although he did have a great season last year, it seems like it's going to be an outlier. I don't see him replicating 18 total touchdowns again this year. And you also let Christian Kirk walk, who was probably the most explosive player on that offense, aside from Kyler Murray, maybe Rondale Moore. I mean, you did add, or not add, excuse me, to use your word, they re-signed some guys like Max Williams, Zach Ertz, Wesley at receiver. But again, none of these moves, no splash moves that you say this has moved the needle for the Arizona Cardinals team. And it's a team, like you mentioned, that struggled down the stretch heavily, fell off heavily, disappointed a lot of fans, one being RJ for sure. When you're coming off a disappointing season like that, you're handing out money to a head coach, to a GM that to many people were already on the hot seat, and to not, go out and actively, be involved in free agency early on just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's looking like the Arizona Cardinals are going to be, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there, but this has not been a great offseason early on. And hopefully, I don't know what their plan is. I don't know if they're still on vacation, still getting used to that new money that's in their bank account right now, talking about Kingsbury and Keim, but something's got to change. Hopefully it starts at the draft, but we'll see. Looks like the Rams are going to take that division again at this point, though.
They're going to slap the Cardinals.
But that's going to do it for us, though. Fresh off a hilarious and exciting Oscars. That's going to do it for us. For Scott Proctor, Matt Morris will catch you on tomorrow's episode of Simple Questions.